Fired up for this gentleman here. Seasoned vet, you guys. I love this guy. He's awesome. Showed me a lot of things coming in the business, and he's gonna bring that wealth of knowledge to you this morning. So please get up from Mr. SMD Alex Cardenas.
Boom! Big shot!
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Great.
Excited?
Yeah.
Excited for your business?
Yes.
Or excited that it's Saturday morning?
Both.
Well, give yourself a round of applause for being here Saturday morning. And remember, it's not just showing up, right? It's what you do between the week to count. So, I looked around and we didn't have too many people out in the field helping families or setting up appointments. So that's an integral part of the business, right?
Yes.
Because if you're not helping family, if you're not training agents, you're not really making money when it's all said and done, right? So we need to see more people writing business. Matt, good job on 10.
Thanks.
I think my record's 16 on a week.
Wow.
Just so you know.
Just so you know. Just so you know.
But you'll break
But
it.
10 is awesome.
Matt, you'll break it one day. No, I'm just joking.
No, just kidding.
I only play Matt. But who's not licensed here? I know there's only a few. So there's 2. Everybody else is licensed, yes?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I want you to take notes because I think what I want you to do is get value in what I tell you. I believe that what I'm going to tell you is something that I've done and what I've been through, me and my wife, early on in the business. So, we're SMDs. We've been with the company for over 10 years, but we did start in the same position you guys did. We were training associates, a month into business, 3 months into business, and the challenges we faced were hard. Because number one, it was new and difficult, and number 2, we had a lot of rejection early on. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna get most of your rejection from your family and friends.
Yep.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
I was talking to Chris, and I was asking, well, how many appointments have you done? Are you a field trainer yet? What do you need to do to become a field trainer? And I was telling him, your family and friends basically are gonna help you get your training. And along the way, you're gonna make some sales, but your team and your business is not gonna grow from your family and friends, it's gonna grow from somebody else. But what I want you to understand that everybody here that's licensed or is gonna get licensed, you have a duty to use that license, not just in September, Life Insurance Awareness Month. You need to be using that license on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. There shouldn't go a week that you're not out sitting with a client. That's if you're engaged. I don't want to hear, well, I got a full-time job, I have 4 kids, or I have this. We had that too. Mind you, years ago when we started, I was commuting to the Port of LA. So I live in Murrieta, so I would get up at 4 in the morning, actually get up at 3:30 in the morning, hit the road by 4. I wouldn't get back till probably 5:30-ish. But you know what I did? I had my shirt, my slacks, in my car, and I went straight to appointments. Because what we wanted to do is to eventually get us in a better financial position down the road. And I hope that's your goal here. Money's not everything, but it's what you do with it. I know a lot of people want to help families or, help your own family, whatever it is. So, focus on why you're doing this and really put the work behind it. Sound fair?
Yes.
Yes.
So, what's holding you back? What's holding some of us back that are licensed on getting an appointment, setting up an appointment with your trainer? If you're a trainer, going out yourself and doing it, what is holding you back? Anybody want to share? Is it skepticism? Is it? Go ahead.
On my part, nothing's holding me back. I think I've been coming across some difficulties on, like you said, not rejection, but people are too busy or giving every excuse in the book, which is fine.
Right.
I've come to the conclusion that I'm gonna get that. So when you realize that, is not gonna mess you up. You just go to the next person.
Right.
And then you go back to the one.
Right.
Because nobody's busy 24/7.
Exactly.
So what I did, I'm making it easy for the other person by not allowing them to block me because they're busy, so I'm coming to them.
Okay.
You can't come to me, then I'm coming to you.
So you're playing
Even for
offense.
lunch, even
Okay.
for whatever, you know, because I live in Vista, so most of my friends are in Vista or Temecula. So they said, like my Temecula friend, he goes, no, I don't wanna commit yet, you know, whatever. And I said, you know what, let's meet for lunch next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm gonna be up there. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna meet with them. I'm kind of like old school, I still wanna talk to people.
Yeah.
Texting and all that
Mhm.
doesn't get me.
Right.
I'd rather talk to
Right.
you. You can tell me face to face
Yeah.
if you don't wanna.
Okay.
That's fine, and I can take that.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm gonna talk to you.
Okay.
But I go to the next person, and then I write down the one that is not ready yet, but then I go back to them.
Right.
Because the number's gonna be busy all 24/7. So just
So,
continue.
so,
just
yeah,
continue.
yeah, so that's a good point. So, you know, that's a good point because she says that people are using excuses. An excuse is I'm busy, bottom line. That's just saying, hey, let me buy me some more time. They really don't want to tell you no. Who texts people for appointments or for confirmations? You shouldn't be texting. You should be calling your client, your prospect, and having a conversation with them over the phone. And then you can follow up with a text with an address, whatever it is. If you send a text, it's very easy ignorable. It's easier for them not to say, oh, you know, ignore it, or, you know, that's what's gonna happen. So back in the day, there was no texting, so, you know, we are in the people business. We need to be talking to people on the phone or in person also. Anybody else, what's holding you back? Is it belief? There, yes. What's holding you back? You licensed?
I'm licensed.
So what's holding you back?
Just me.
Just
I'm
you?
Not being disciplined enough.
Okay, so getting more focused, but getting more detailed, and what are your distractions? You have some distractions along the way? You have to,
Well, obviously, you know, the big distraction is the money, you know, moving forward with actually paying for everything you pay for, that's the biggest distraction to me.
okay, so you've paid your license, are you appointed?
No, I'm not putting it.
Okay.
That's the biggest.
Borrow the
distraction.
money, put it on a credit card. What we did back in 2007, we didn't have money, though we made good money, but we were here in debt. So we said we might as well stick some more into debt to get our licenses. And mind you, back in the day, it was $199 to go take your test. Now it's like a course. Yeah, the life and health course. So we had to take, like Dee mentioned last week, we had to go down to San Diego. We had to take off a week off of work. I got paid because I was on salary in the military. She didn't get paid because she was hourly. So we made that sacrifice knowing ahead what did the future hold. It couldn't get worse, right? If I'm gonna charge $400 on a credit card to go take my life and health course in San Diego. And mind you, when we got started with the company, it was $199? So our total investment really to get started, by the time we got our fingerprints and everything, which, and we didn't have money, was close to about $1,400. And not too shortly after that, we both submitted for our securities license. We submitted our U4. And you know what that cost? Like $800 or $900.
Yep.
But we were able to do that because we were making money already with our life license. So I don't want to say excuses, but find a way to get it done, whatever it takes. You know, I always say, if I say, I forget your name, sorry.
Price.
Bryce, sorry. If I say, hey Bryce, here's a brand new car, man. It's a nice car. You just got to come up with $200 for it. How quick would you get $200? Would you find a way to make it happen? If it's a really good deal,
Yeah.
it's a bargain, or $1,000. Look at that. Look at getting your license with the ability to pay you thousands or hundreds of thousands. Look at it that way. So your belief has to change. You're limiting your belief. Okay, so I want everybody to have, hey, your belief needs to be bigger. It's not where you're at today, it's where you're going. You have to believe that. If you stay where we're at, it's not gonna happen. So whatever's holding you back, slap it aside and says, hey, I'm gonna get my licensing done, I'm gonna set my appointments, and start to manifest what you put out into the universe. Because if you're putting out negative thoughts, negative beliefs, nothing's really gonna happen. When you start putting positive thoughts, it's the law of attraction. Good things are gonna come back your way. It's not gonna happen right away. There's gonna be weeks, at times, and months, it's gonna be tough. But I'm gonna tell you, when it's good, and you don't need too many goods. because the way the company pays us, yes or no?
Yes.
So, you know, let's go and start actually utilizing that license. You're paying the Department of Insurance, you know, a fee every 2 years. You're paying your E&Os every month. So you're not profitable at this point. So you need to be in the positive, yes or no?
Yes.
And if you're not a trainer, and you haven't done your appointments to become a trainer, I would quickly do that, as quick as possible. Get with your trainer, get with your SMD and say, hey, I gotta get myself trained. Because first 3 months in the business, what we were doing, fluffing around. Coming to meetings, missing meetings, thinking about quitting every other day in the bathroom during the mold zone. Saw Reggie walk in a couple times. I went to the door, he's like, I got 10 more minutes in here now. Because it was hot and we were uncomfortable. You gotta get them comfortable. Bottom line. The successful Bryce later is not the Bryce today. Things have to change. Vice versa, same thing with me at this point too. The more successful Alex later and Dee Dee, we have to change for the better. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's get after it. Let's get aggressive. What's the worst thing somebody can tell you?
No.
No.
Does that hurt?
Nope.
No.
So how many no's is it gonna take for you to quit?
And no, it's not now.
Anybody? Do you have a set number?
Nope.
No.
So go through the no's. You keep going through the no's, keep going through the no's, keep going through the no's, you're gonna get a few yeses along the way. And then when you get yeses, you know what happens? You get more confident. You start to believe more. Things start to happen. Good things start to happen to you. Would you agree?
Yes.
So some of us are new, some of us are seasoned. It doesn't matter. We've all been through the new phases. We got to get to the better phases. Okay? So when we got serious, after 3 months of goofing around, we got licensed like first 2 weeks, like Dee Dee said, but we really did no appointments. You know what my mentality was? I'll be honest with you guys. I'm gonna wait till I get licensed so I can go do my own appointments. But I didn't know what to do. So I got my license. I said, okay, well, I got my license, so how can I sit down with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law and show her this presentation? I only saw it one time with us. Follow me? So we got serious and we met with Nick. I said, hey, Nick, we're either gonna do this or not. We discussed it and we met. He says, what do we need to do? He said, well, set up your training appointments. You need to become a trainer. Start inviting people to the office. Start building your team. See how simple it is?
Mm-hmm.
Set up your appointments. Not a big thing. Set up your appointments and invite people down to the office. And if you're scared to set your appointments or you don't feel confident or to invite down, leverage your leader. The leader will control that point of contact. You know why? Because we're new. So when somebody gives us an objection over the phone, right, we know how to answer the objection and go back to the close. So man, you guys should be taking advantage of your people that are working with you. Because some of us are working at our full-time job and we have people here in the office that are helping build your business while you're doing that. Okay, so when we got serious, we were training associates, 25% contract. So who's a training associate today? So what's today's contract? 30, so a little better contract coming in. We were 25. First month as a training associate, I pulled the numbers. We personal production. I didn't have my field trainer with me. This was me going out with Dee Dee into the field. We did 19,992 points. Matt, would you say that's good?
When was that?
That was October 2007.
No, how many months in?
3. July, we joined July, August, September, yeah, October. So 19,992. So at a 25% contract, we made close to $4,000 part-time. We got excited. So next month, 15,712 as a training associate. Oh, but we got promoted because we made 30,000 in production. So there was no 3,330 back in the day. when we started, it was like, get licensed, so it took us a while to get licensed, get trained, and then you gotta go out and produce $20,000 in premium. I mean, 30,000, excuse me, to get the promotion. And then December was 13,400 points. And then come January, they came out with 10, 10, 30. Hey, Malek came to our office and gave us the inside scoop, remember? He says, I'm not supposed to tell you guys, but the company's gonna release a big thing, but I want you to know now ahead of time, if you go do 3-3-30, you'll go from training associate to associate, you go do 10-10-30, you're gonna become a senior associate. And you know what we did? We had a mind made up. We were confident, we were making money, we were doing things. I said, okay, this is our plan. And that's how we got our senior associate promotion. 10-10-30, January 2008. And then from there, we just kind of took off. Started to build our team. Field training, I was a great matchup trainer. The office was rocking. There were so many appointments that if you didn't have appointments, if you weren't recruiting, they were saying, hey, I used to get calls every day from work. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Can you do a 6 and 8 o'clock in whatever, Lake Elsinore for your appointment? I mean, right, matchups?
Yep.
I mean, it's half, but hey, it's better than nothing. You're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's an appointment you didn't have.
Yeah,
Might as well go.
appointment that you didn't have, but either way. And then we took off from there. So little milestones along the way is what you need to be setting for yourself. Don't say, I'm gonna be an SMD in a year. No, if you're not licensed, I'm gonna get licensed by this day. I'm gonna get field trained by this day. What are the fundamentals here? Hey, get your license, get yourself field trained, and start to invite people to the meeting. That's fundamentals. Everything else is just more information, especially for people that are younger. Newer in the business, I apologize. Sound fair?
Yes.
So get after your appointments, do your appointments, and believe that you deserve to win here. Because there's people that have come before you in your position and now are in a higher position that are very successful within the company. Sound fair?
Yes.
So when we say that this office has to grow, we need to be thinking about, we're gonna outgrow this office next year. It's just too small for us. It is a small office. Probably get 25, 30 people here, and then a standing room. We should be thinking about 50, 75. And you know when that starts to happen, there's a lot more people field training, there's a lot more lists that are out, there's a lot more appointments, there's a lot more activity, and it all becomes contagious. So we need to change the environment here, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So when you say, hey, how many people did business, how many people, because the outcome, you can't worry about the outcome, right? One of the things that I do in an appointment, and early on I did, and I beat myself to death. I would walk home late and I tell Dee Dee, I says, she goes, how'd it go? This is like at 12:30 at night. So mind you, I was doing appointments. I was doing like appointments like till like 12 at night, 11:30, and then I would get home, wire it up, couldn't go to bed, and I had to wake up at 3:30 the next morning. But that was the vision I saw that says, I gotta retire from the Coast Guard. I hate this commute. I don't know where they're gonna send me when I'm done here. I don't wanna relocate. I got a house and my kids are in high school. So these are things that drove us to make things happen here early on. So you have to have that like why in here to really go after it. And who cares? And mind you, there's times that, I see somebody, I'm supposed to be prospecting, I may not talk to them. I'm human too, don't get me wrong, but we all need to have a collective effort here, because it's not about 1 or 2 people here or 3 people in the office, it's about a team environment. This is the team, right? The team wins. It's not individual, it's not I, it's we. Would you say, yeah, let's go.
I got a quick question about, confidence in product knowledge and when you guys overcame that. I mean, it obviously didn't happen instantly.
Product or presentation? Just the product?
The product, yeah, the knowledge
Okay.
of how they work, and, like Matt was, able to get 6 out of 1 sit by knowing,
Okay,
where and how to apply it.
yeah. Your field, I'll be honest with you, your field training appointments, you're not gonna get much product information. You're gonna get KTP information. The product knowledge, it's online, it's in the provider's website. There's phone numbers you can call the sales desk, and they can walk you through stuff. Or you can sit down with your trainer, your SMD, and give it. You know what's a good product thing? I pulled it up here. If you wanna know everything about an FFIO, here it is.
Yep, just read the
Read this.
brochure.
Don't read it once, read it 3 or 4 times. So you know what a policy loan is. So you know what surrender charges are. So you know these things, so when you're running an illustration, you talk to them about it, you understand these things that are important to tell a client.
Yeah, because I think without that, confidence in the meetings and the presentations
Right.
goes way down. Even your drifts all the way back to prospecting, you might not want to do it or have as much confidence going forward if you're not confident in the product.
So this is what we did. I got online and I started researching EIUL back in the day. What's an EIUL?
Wow.
Equity.
Equity Index Universal Life. And I went in there, I started Googling things. I went into Transamerica. I called people. I read the literature. I went to the WFG's, what's it called now?
Product guide.
Not the product guide, where you
Oh.
order materials. The sales, not the sales desk, where you can order the apps. It's, whatever it's called. You can order your
Oh,
apps.
fulfillment store.
Yeah, fulfillment. I went in there and said, hey, I want 25 of these IUL things, I want this term, I want all this information. So I gave myself the information. Because once you know it, then it's just doing the KTP.
Mhm.
But like I said, it's gonna take you a little bit of time. Don't think in a year you're gonna know all the products back and forth. But with more time, you'll get more knowledgeable as you go along the way. So on your free time, what are you doing? Are you on social media? Are you watching sports? Or are you looking to learn the products, learn the KTP, learn how to make phone calls, do the things that are required? So I would say that if you're here part-time, your job should be after work, finding some time to do something in your business. If you're not going prospecting, then it should be learning the products online, getting yourself knowledgeable. Joe, you're in real estate, right?
Yep.
How many years?
2.
So would you say now you're a lot more knowledgeable than 2 years ago?
Yep.
Because you've got, so in 2 years here, believe me.
But the same thing happened, I got my license and you don't know how a transaction works 100%. So my drive to prospect and pick up the phone and follow up with leads is just down, It's like, there's a fear there,
So what are you saying in regards to that? You're talking about real estate, right?
I was referring to the real estate,
Okay.
yeah, and getting to a place where you feel comfortable
So this
with
is
the
a thing.
system and the product. And then, yeah, I'm seeing that I'm not even licensed yet, that could become an issue
Okay,
here.
talk to Nick. You're working directly with Nick. Tell him what you're feeling. Have you talked to him?
Mhm.
Talk to him about it. Okay, and he's gonna give you what you need to know, give you the information.
Cool.
Reggie, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna have, every month, we have product providers come
Yeah.
and teach us
Come
the
in.
products too. So you'll know enough about product.
Yeah,
along
so we have
the way.
people coming in from providers and stuff, so they do a good job of getting people into the office at least once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, if you're on a KTP with somebody, you know what you do after the appointment, whatever happens? Say, hey, I'd like to debrief with you. Can we go somewhere and talk? Or go grab a bite? And you got their full attention for an hour, and then you better start asking questions. Hey, by the way, I heard you say this thing about surrender charges, or I heard you say this thing about, whatever. Asking those questions so you kind of know. And then she should be able to give you that information there, at that point. So what you want to be is you
mean debrief with your trainer?
your trainer, yeah.
Right.
And your trainer should be doing that afterwards on the ride home, or, if you want to spend more time, go to the restaurant. You're gonna have to buy them dinner, but it's worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
Mhm.
That's right.
Would you agree?
Yes.
So stay the course. So, we have a system in place here. We talk about prospecting is number one. Prospecting is the first step. We're not gonna get any appointments without a list of names and numbers. And off those lists of names and numbers, you're gonna go see people at appointments and hopefully get more names and numbers as referrals. So you're always building that list. That's your inventory that you gotta keep always going. Because eventually it's gonna dry up if you don't do that. Make your calls, and then the KTP is gonna be the outcome. Or having them come down to the office. Would you say we did good work here?
Yes.
I'm gonna share 2 stories with you. You know, I've been doing this for some time, and these are 2 of my clients that I've had. And I think we did our job. We did our job sitting down with these clients. The first one, I was training an associate, remember Nancy Lord? So one of our associates, she was a teacher, and she took me out to Pasadena. And she had me sit down with a business owner and his wife. So he had a small business. He actually had those bathtubs that, you know, where you walk into them, like, you know, when you're older, you know, so you don't trip. So he had a small little business there, and the wife helped him with the business. So we did a policy on him. He was very reluctant not to get life insurance. Well, what do we need? And mind you, he was older. He was like in his early 60s, but still insurable. We still say, hey, let's give you some type of coverage. I believe we wrote him up for $200,000 in coverage at that age, and he got approved. Fast forward, 3 or 4 years later, I get a call from the wife. And I see the phone, and I couldn't pick it up. And I was like, oh, okay, I gotta call it back. So I called it back, and she goes, hi, this is, what's her name? Drawing a blank. This is Alex? I go, yes. I go, hi, how are you? I says, hi. She was like, goes, well, my husband Harry passed away. He passed away 2 weeks ago. I said, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, caught her by surprise. And I'm thinking like, yeah, inside I felt good about it, because, you know, I knew that she had some protection. He had a brain tumor, we lost the business, all these things, you know, compiled. But what I said to her, I says, Nancy, I'll say Nancy, I say, Nancy, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. I said, but you did know that your husband took out a life insurance policy on himself when we sat down. And, you know, the company Transamerica now is gonna make good on their word for this death benefit of $200,000. So let me call them up so we can start the death claim. And she was over the phone, she goes, oh, thank you. You know, she felt relieved. She had a sense of peace when I went over the phone, knowing that, because she had no idea what he did, even though she sat through the presentation. And I said, awesome. So we were able to help that family. Not a lot of money, but it's something, $200,000. The second story is, we have a client who's a doctor and good friend of ours, and his wife and 2 kids. We did an appointment with them. So we did appointments. We were field training our agents. So we did the appointment and we wrote up 4 policies. Okay, so everything's good. So all of a sudden, we get the new policies that come in, the new insurance, the living benefits, right? So now new things are changing in life insurance. So it's called living benefits, long-term care, critical illness. So I revisited that client and other clients, and I sat with them and I said, you're doing well with these policies, they're saving money and you're protected, but I just want you to be aware that there's a new product out there that allows you the ability that if you become chronically ill, critically ill, that you can accelerate your death benefit payable to you. And it's just something I want to present to you just because it's there. And they talked about it and they said, no, thank you. So, not a problem. And other people said, no, thank you. And some said, yes, thank you. So I'm doing my due diligence. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because if something new comes out where it addresses health concerns, which is a big thing now, you better be talking about it. So we were invited to Susan's 50th birthday party. She's the client, 50th. We were invited to her house. She has a beautiful house, big, huge mansion down by the hills of Marietta. 50th birthday party. The day before her birthday party, she had a brain aneurysm. She should have been dead. An aneurysm. She was bad. She lost control of all her right side, and still to this day, she can't do that. Now, mind you, she can't control her hand, and you know she has struggles. Mind you, we were there. We talked about it. We did our due diligence. They said no. We feel good about that. We did that. But mind you, she could have said yeah, and that would have been another family we would have saved. You know what they did? They drained all their policies because the medical record, the medical bill started to pile up. But at least they had that, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, and they still have it. They don't have all that cash because they had a lot of money they were putting in there. But that's the thing that we do, guys. We do noble work. So when you get somebody who said, hey, this is a pyramid or this insurance, yeah, it is. It is insurance, and everybody needs some type of protection, especially if you pass away. It's not about you, it's about what you leave behind. So these are conversations you have to have. Don't be afraid to go to bat and speak your mind and what you believe, because that's important. And most people just say things, right? Don't become defensive. Stand stern, believe in what you offer and what you do, and move on to the right person. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so Matt, I'm gonna get my PowerPoint now, so let's talk a little bit about some KTP objections and closings and all this stuff. I'm just gonna give you some stuff because, hold on. I just have it up right now too. Let me do this, I have it up here. Submit it. Oh, no. Give me a second, guys. 1 second, okay? Hold on. Any questions as I get this PowerPoint up? Anything you want to ask me? And we'll do some questions at the end, you know, based on what I covered here, but.
That's Reggie. Sometimes I think he's like Carlos Bruno. He loves people.
Yes, he does.
Is it hot or is it me?
No, they just fired up.
See, you're on fire. You're on fire, bro.
I'm on fire?
Yeah, you see the steam over here. Sell the sizzle.
Okay, cool. Put it right here. So let's talk about KTP, right? Everybody know what that is?
Yes.
Kitchen table presentation. So what we do, you guys understand that we visit the family at their house. Why do we do that? Anybody know? Outside of Matt?
Keep those people comfortable and feel them safe at home, feeling like they're not being intruded on it.
So we go to their house and make them comfortable, to make it more convenient, maybe? Yeah? Anybody else?
That's where financial decisions are normally
There you
made.
go. Financial decisions, yeah, make them comfortable too, because people are comfortable in their home. But people make decisions in their home, and they basically make them at their kitchen table. Would you say so?
Yes.
Why is that? It's where they gather as a family, right? So kitchen table presentation, what we do, a lot of financial companies don't do that, some will, but a lot of people want you to come to their office, or et cetera, et cetera. So let's talk about closing, overcoming objections, and what are some of the things, but I'm gonna cover some topics here.
You're on the actual website, so you're gonna have to scroll through it.
I'll scroll through it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. There. Okay, so the first thing, very important things I want you to remember. When you walk in as a trainer or as a trainee, the number one thing is that you have to do is build some rapport with that family. So if I'm taking Anthony to an appointment, right? And Anthony knocks at the door and I'll be off to the side. Anthony is gonna introduce me at the door. Yes or no?
Yes.
Just a little bit of, hey, hi, how you doing? This is my trainer, Alex. And that's all he's gonna say at the door, really not much. We walk in together. So as we walk in together, we're gonna just, as a trainer, what I do is I look around and I look for pictures, I look at things in common that I have with the person. If they're watching a basketball game, and I walk in, they're watching Laker games or baseball games, asking, hey, this is your team. So I wanna build some rapport and some trust with them early on. But the whole appointment is gonna be set based on Anthony getting us to that kitchen table. Because why, Zach?
Because that's what
Financial decisions are made at the kitchen table. So is it my responsibility to tell the client, hey, by the way, because they're gonna want you to sit in the sofa in front of the TV, right? So it's gonna be Anthony saying, Mr. and Mrs. Client, for my training, it would be great that we sit here. That would be more beneficial for me. So we got to the kitchen table. So a little bit more small talk within the trainer, and eventually an edification will take place. An edification basically is from the training, and it's gonna be, we're gonna talk a little bit, but it's gonna be a moment of silence, and then Anthony's gonna edify. Anthony, you know how to edify somebody?
Yes.
Of course you do. Let's hear an edification.
Say you're edifying Alex.
Me.
Okay, who am I?
Just say Mr. and Mrs. Client.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Client, first I want to thank Alex for taking the time to come to my field training appointment. He's personally helped my family with their financial situation and put in a better position as well. And Alex is one of our top trainers here, also a broker, and someone who we highly respect at our office. So I want to thank him for coming here to help me out with my training. And you know, this is a guy who I highly respect, so I know he's going to share some valuable information with you guys as well.
So what did Anthony just do?
He just spoke really good.
Transfer trust.
There you go. Transfer trust. Because right now, I don't have trust. I have expertise, but he has trust and credibility, and that has to be transferred over to your trainer. And the moment that happens, that sets the tone, hopefully, for the rest of the appointment. Edification is huge, guys. And at the beginning, you're gonna probably mess it up, like I did, and get nervous. And sometimes I gotta kick somebody, and sometimes they don't even do it, where I just gotta get started, and then I just get into it. But knowing that if you're a trainee or a trainer, that's the way it has to go down. These are things that are proven. So build that rapport. Be competent. That goes to knowing your stuff. If you go in there and you meet with somebody that kind of knows their stuff and you don't know your stuff, you're gonna walk out of there like a chicken. Would you agree?
Yes.
So get in there, and you're gonna probably mess it up early on, but how do you get better in anything?
Keep doing it.
Is repetition. The more the better. And I messed up appointments early on. I said wrong things, you know, not intentionally, but by fault. But you get better. So be confident, know your stuff. Know your products. Know the KTP. Know the edification. Right? Number 3, don't ask questions. Ask questions, excuse me. Don't make statements. How many of us go in there and make statement after statement after statement after statement, and then at the end you got closed? It's not a closing environment. But if you ask questions, if I say, hey Bryce, would you agree that this tax law 7702 is beneficial to saving on taxes?
Absolutely.
Hey Zach, would you like your money growing in the savings account at less than 1% or maybe something close to 10 without risk? Which one's more beneficial? You see? So I'm asking questions along the way. Because what happened is, as I ask these questions, I get little yeses, little yeses, little yeses, little yeses, and then at the end, when you want to get the big yes, they've already said yes like 6, 7, 8 times on what you presented. But if you make statements and ask for the big yes, at the end, it's going to be hard.
Mhm.
You can make statements, and that's the material stuff, but ask a lot of questions. There's a form, and I don't know if you guys have it. We can get it to you. It's trust, respect, customize.
Yep.
You still use it?
Yep.
That's the best way to start up an appointment. You're gonna ask, they think you're gonna start making statements and trying to sell them something, and you're just gonna start to ask questions. And then you get into your thing. Asking questions. Don't be pushy. What does that mean? Separate yourself from the outcome. They don't wanna buy, they don't wanna buy. Early on, I made them buy. There was closes that I felt, but you can tell after a while who wants it.
Mhm.
And then if you gotta force them it's not gonna stay on the books. So don't be pushy. And then make it about them, asking those questions. Right? Even before you edify, just ask them, hey, tell me, what do you do for work, John? Oh, you got 3 kids? What school do they go to? People like to talk about themselves. That's building your rapport with them. So these are important things that you need to have in your appointment. 4 elements of field training. Feel good about yourself, right? So if you got off of work, if you have time to get yourself showered, brush your teeth, whatever you need to do, hair combed, to feel good, do that. Feel good about your company and your products? You gotta believe in them. Are they good? Would you say so?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say they're good. They're really good. Give a simple presentation. Why do we give a simple presentation? We gotta be duplicatable, guys. So if you go in there and you start saying, above and beyond what you should be saying, your training's gonna get lost. So keep it simple. Because the goal here, eventually when you're training somebody, is to make them independent as soon as possible. But if you make it hard on the presentation, then it's gonna be hard. They're gonna struggle, and they're gonna say, I can't do this, too hard. This guy knows a lot. Keep it very simple. And let them make the decision, like I said, right? If they want it, they want it. But you can't do the presentation and say, well, what do you think? Is that a closing question or a closing statement?
No.
You gotta have closing questions. Because what happens when you ask closing questions? Hopefully you close, but you're asking those questions. Ask questions to control the conversation, right? Why? It isolates their area of concern. You receive minor agreements, those are the little yes, 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 right? Leading to the big yes at the end. They arouse and control emotion. How do you think people make decisions? With their head or with their heart? Most likely, if you drive somebody right here in the heart, based on where they're at financially, if they're never gonna retire or they don't have protection, but they got a nice house and 4 kids, and what were to happen if the main breadwinner passes away, these are things that you have to ask. So you have to control the emotion and arouse them. And uncovered hidden fears. What are the fears that they're fearing in regards to what you're presenting to them? Is it the money? Is it you? What do you mean?
What the fears of why they wouldn't?
Well, normally if you have somebody giving you a presentation, how much is it? Yeah, most people are gonna be thinking, well, how much is it? They're thinking it's like a lot of money. So I'll talk about how you do that later, okay? And just quickly, a couple more slides here on this. 5 reasons people buy. They buy because of security, peace of mind, right? Status, they want to keep up. If you say, hey, your sister Jane we sat down with her and she was able to do something, they want to say, well, if Jane's doing this, I want to do it because I want to keep up with my sister. The need, is there a need for it? Right, if they already have life insurance and enough, do they need another one? No, but if they don't have it, there's a need for it. And then keeping up with their sisters like that, status, same way. 5 reasons people don't buy. Fear of the unknown. How much is it? Indecision. Yes or no?
Yes.
People are undecided. Procrastination. Everybody procrastinates, right? Oh, you know what? Not now. I'll probably do it, we can do it next month or whatever, and they never do it. But that's called procrastination. They weren't asked. Did you ask them? Did you ask the closing questions at the end? And basically, if you don't build that rapport and you build that trust, they don't trust you. And some people, you know what, guys? Sometimes you do a great job of building a rapport and still people don't trust you. That's on them, right? Nothing you can do about that. Everybody got this? Okay. Okay. This is after I do my trust, respect, customize, I go over those questions. This is what I say to them. Every single appointment. I'll say, Mr. and Mrs. Klein, before we get started, I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, okay? The first question I wanna ask you, as I go through my presentation, is our company and what we do, are we a credible company? Yes or no? I'm gonna talk a little bit about who we are, what we actually do, but are we a credible company and what we provide? Number 2, are these financial concepts and solutions that I'm about to share with you tonight, can they be life-changing for you and your family? So what I'm gonna share with you tonight, can they change your family outcome down the road? Maybe retire with a lot more money or with some money, or protect somebody if you go before. And then number 3, Our company is based on referral 100%. I want you to be thinking of people that you can refer to us. As I mentioned, Anthony's in training, and Anthony's just got licensed. He's gonna be finishing his training here in the next couple of weeks, or next week or so. And these referrals are gonna help Anthony once he's licensed and trained. So I want you to be thinking about these things. So when I ask him for referrals at the end of the presentation, it's not, oh my gosh, I need to give you referrals. They're already thinking about people, because I already told them, I already put it on the front end. And then when I ask them for referrals, they're gonna say, oh yeah, he asked me, I want to be thinking about people as I do my presentation. Those are called the 3 C's: company, credibility, crusade. And I always talk about, I would say, talk a little bit about yourself. How you got started with the company, why are you doing this, and how it's helped you. Because I should have started our story that we were broke and dead, and this company sat down with us and changed us forever. And I felt the need to go help my own family, and now I'm helping other people too. Right? So we're not in the business of selling, we're in the business of educating and helping and solutions. You got it?
Yes.
We're good here?
Yes.
I'm not gonna spend time on the concepts here. This is for your trainer to go over. But this is the basic format right here. You're gonna talk a little bit about how money works, Rule 72, right? Everybody know Rule 72?
Yes.
Okay. Talk about tax boxes and the tax dilemma. If the guy has a 401k or a TSP or an IRA they're saving into, show them the difference on how they get taxed on their money. Tax now, tax later, tax never. And then, 3 places where people put their money. Where are the 3 places people put the money?
Bank,
The banking institutions,
professionals,
investments, professional money managers, investments,
life
and life
insurance.
insurance. And I hit up a little bit about everything. And basically, I just say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, if there was a place that you could put your money that has all of these, the safety of the bank, the accessibility of the bank, the growth of the market, but the protection of the market if the market loses, life insurance, all these things, is that something that you've heard about or something that you think is pretty good? And they're gonna say, yeah. That's a little yes along the way. So I ask them, if there was a place where you can have all these things in place, would it be beneficial? They're gonna say yes. I educate them on insurance because that's what I'm gonna offer them. It may be a term, it may be a rollover, but I need to tell them this is how term works, and this is how permanent life insurance works. The differentials, and there's key points to hit on. Term is temporary, it's so many years, it expires, there's no money, etc. And then this is the 6 circles. It used to be 5, but I do 6 because I put long-term care there. Draw the 6 circles, and let's talk about closing questions. These are the ones you want to ask, because you've done a great presentation. Now what are you going to do? Well, what do you think? You got to ask questions now to get a commitment to maybe come back, to close business that day, and move forward. Okay, I've done the circles, 6 circles. Life insurance, retirement planning, emergency fund, college, debt, and long-term care. I've identified what do they have going on in each section in the financial roadmap. They say, I got insurance through work, I got a term, I got a 401k, I don't have anything for school. So you already in paper, because I do this in paper, this part, because I write it down. You can't do it on the PowerPoint. So they see physically what they have. Now, number 1, if somebody is not saving, you're gonna sit down with people that don't have life insurance and that are not saving for retirement. Yes or no?
Yes.
How can I make a recommendation if I don't even know that they can afford it? Right? Because money's gonna be an objection for me later. So even before, I did a great presentation, and I said, and I go over the thing, I go, well, what do you overall, this is what you have. I go, let me ask you a question, do you have a budget? What you make and what goes out? No, I don't. I say, do you know your discretionary income? Does everybody know what discretionary income?
No.
Once you pay all your bills and your expenses, what you got left over? What's left over? People don't know. So I says, why don't we do this? So let's create a quick budget so we can kind of see where we're at. So what that tells me if I'm gonna run illustration, the numbers, and show them graphs based on what they can do, I wanna make sure that they have money. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why pull out the numbers when they say, oh, I'm broke? I make $4,000 a month, but 4,000 goes out. There's no way to do it. It's like trying to squeeze orange from an orange that's kind of dry, right? A dry orange. So that's important. And then, based on that, you make your recommendation. You run the numbers, $500 discretionary. Don't write them up on a $500 target, policy. Write what's suitable. I would recommend that, basically, you use your judgment. Talk to your trainer. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but don't say, oh, it's $500, that's available. No, because $100, $150, whatever the need is. If they're doing something already, if they already have life insurance through work, or they have 401k savings, the question you ask them, great presentation you did, I'll say, Mr. and Mrs. Klein, if I can redirect some of your present insurance policy and retirement savings into a better long-term solution, is that something you would like to take advantage today or when I return? What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna see what you have already, I already see it, and I'm gonna make a recommendation what I can show you that may be better. Is that something you wanna look at? And they're gonna say yes. And if they start to, look at each other, they're not probably ready, so you've gotta understand that. But the ones that say, yeah, then that gives you permission to run the illustration. Pull out the software and put down the age and what your recommendation is gonna be based on, and this is what I normally would do. If they're saving $200 in a 401k, if the 401k matches 3% and they put 6%, I'm not gonna say, well, stop your whole 401k. Keep the 3 match, and any extra money that you're putting into a 401k, this is gonna be a better vehicle. So don't ever say, well, stop your old 401k even though they match you. No, that's free money. It's good. Biggest concern is what for people? Money. So let's isolate the objection ahead of time. This is another question you may want to ask, closing questions. If money wasn't a problem, would you move forward to see if you qualify? If I can address the money issue, would you move forward and see if we can get you started? Now it's your job to take care of the money issue. Well, I already know, I've done a budget, we're gonna figure out, and I've already told them, I'm gonna recommend you stop your 401k up to here, stop this, whatever it is, based on what you did. Run the numbers, everything is good, explain how the illustration works. You gotta get a commitment at this point, yes or no?
Yes.
The commitment is like, okay, what do I need to do next? What's the next step? They're excited, they saw the numbers, how much coverage they can have for life, how much long-term care benefits and how much cash value, tax-free they're gonna have. And then I'll say, Mr. and Mrs. Klein, normally to get you approved, it takes 3 to 5 weeks on the average. The first step is to get an application sent into the company. That's something that we can do tonight. Is that something you'd like to do tonight? See if we get you approved. Gotta ask them.
Yep.
We gotta get you approved, we can't do it, we can see if we can get you approved tonight. They gotta give you an answer. If they say yes, then you let them know, well, awesome, what we're gonna need is a copy of your driver's license and your banking information to get you started. One thing you wanna start doing also is let them know, you guys know that, I'll talk to the trainers on this, they don't need to know about the initial premium, because sometimes, I'm gonna talk to you about, with the application, unless it's a trial application, you send the initial premium. It's basically a deposit to get the application process started. When the application process gets approved in 3 to 5 weeks, that initial deposit is moved over, it's put into the first month after the policy is issued. But let them know that based on this, we're gonna need $200 deposit or initial premium to get you started. This is for the underwriting process. When you do get approved, that's gonna be applied for the month afterwards. So you probably won't see a regular payment come out until the 3rd month down the road. Because they need to okay it, because sometimes people don't have $200 sitting in their bank account. You start writing the application and you ask them for it, like, oh, I don't got it. And I did that early on too, a few times, and I was like, well, I gotta ask them now before I even start pulling out paperwork, it's just a waste of time. So ahead of time, these are things you ask. Yeah, Bryce.
It's just like applying for a secured credit card, this one is exact same.
Say again?
It's just like applying for a secured credit card,
What do you mean?
like the initial deposit, it's almost the exact same concept.
You have to put deposits down for credit cards?
I don't
For
know.
a secured credit card, yes. So there's a regular card and there's secure that builds your credit.
Like they're putting a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
You put 10%, it goes towards the purchase of the house. It's gonna go, that money that's put down is not gonna disappear. If you don't get approved, you get it back.
Yeah, that's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah,
it's
same
the
thing.
exact same thing.
Okay, so, and then, you set up for the labs. Hopefully at that point, you say, hey, the underwriting process to get you approved with medical, what days are you available this coming week to do your blood work? Normally mornings are good. We want you fasting. Weekends work too. We have people that can come out to you on the weekends. So do everything there. You gotta be a professional in these things. And make these steps go through. Any questions on these? So what's this for? For somebody that what?
Doesn't have a button.
Okay, doesn't have the budget, and what else?
They don't know their discretionary income.
Exactly. Or, what else? They're not doing anything.
Yep,
They're not
they're not
saving,
saving
they don't
money.
have life insurance. So you can't make a recommendation on shifting what you have here into something possibly better, upgrading hopefully.
So for instance, we didn't have a budget, and when we did our appointment, we didn't think we could afford it. And that's why I was staying in my bedroom, because I'm like, we can't afford this. I don't know what they're gonna try and sell us, we can't afford it, da. But when Nick did a budget, and we broke everything down, and we saw where we were spending our money, and where we were wasting our money, and what we really did have available to invest in our future, right?
So it's a visual.
It's a visual, it's a writing.
And early on, you were right, you do things that you just wanna close and you don't even share the budget, and it, like Dee says, people need to see it, where they're spending, and then they can say, hey, we can afford
Because
it.
if you have everything here, Lupe, it's not
Well, that's
visible.
a family.
Tangible.
It's gotta go tangible. That's why it's always important, budgets are important. It's gotta go from here to here so you physically see it. And Dee mentioned a good point. We were spending over $1,000 a month eating out with our kids. I said, man, I can put away $300. I'll eat out less, but I wanna get this started, So that's important. These are other questions you ask. What would you grade yourself today? So after you do the 6 circles, I just turn it over and says, based on what we went over, what do you grade yourself in your financial future? Oh, not too good. So they say it. I can't say, oh, you know what, we just did this and you're not looking too good. That's not good. So, because they're gonna get mad.
Yes.
So turn it over to them and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Klein, based on what I just did, here's your financial roadmap. Based on what we went over, what do you grade yourself? Or what areas do you think you can do better? So you see, as I ask questions, and they're gonna say it, because when they say it, they own it.
Yep, that's right.
They're gonna own it. Well, we definitely need more life insurance, retirement, they're gonna tell you, and that gives you permission then to ask for the recommendation.
And then they're gonna feel that they make that decision.
Yeah, I'm asking them, ask the questions,
They
yeah.
made the
Yeah.
decision.
You're just there to guide them, push them along, show them, and then let them say it, and then, okay, we're good, and move on to the next step. This is another question you can ask, obviously, when you're done with your 6 circles and the presentation, Mr. and Mrs. Klein, if I can show you a plan that's better for you and your family, future, is that something you wanna take a look at when I return? You gotta ask that question somehow. Because that's gonna tell you, I wanna look further, I'm considering this, or I'm kinda out the door. And you'll know when you gotta walk out the door. Don't just walk out the door when they say no, just say, oh, okay, well, ask them, well, can I ask you a question? Based on what I went over, was it me, or was it the products? What made you come to this decision that you're okay right now, based on what I covered? And it's okay, people sometimes don't want to do things. You can't force them. These are just stuff, and I'll send you guys this, but these are good questions to ask. I mean, would you rather your money get taxed now, later, or never? Yeah. Never. Does it make sense to have the protection on the most important thing? Got protection on your cell phone,
Protection.
right? That iPhone, but you don't have it on your life.
Toaster.
God forbid. Right now, you have no guarantees on your money. How do you feel about gambling with your retirement? Would you rather temporarily protect your family or permanently protect your family? Would you rather protect your family for 20 years or for life? And sometimes a term policy can be the answer until they get cash rich and then they become self-insured. But if somebody's not cash rich, money in the bank or in investments, and they have a family and they have no coverage, you need to be doing your duty, which is asking these questions. If I can improve your family's financial situation, would you give me the opportunity to do so? And then 5 more. On a scale from 1 to 10, how motivated are you about changing your financial situation for the better? When was the last time you sat down with a licensed financial professional? Probably never. Now that you know how a 401k works and how an FFIUL works, which do you think is better for your family and your money? Ask them. When, you talk about taxes and risk and non-accessibility, and you're talking about something here a little bit different. You just present it, give them the facts, you let them decide. Would you rather pay less than 10 to 15% in cost of insurance to protect your family and retirement, or would you rather pay the government 20 to 30? Who likes to pay the government taxes? Well, this is a good question to ask them. Get them thinking. You know what these questions do? Their emotions, it gets them right here. They start to think a little bit more. So a good thing is when you go to a KTP and you watch your trainer, he should be having these little statements here and there, these little things that are gonna check somebody in a good way. Not mean, but in a nice way. But these are questions you have to ask. You can't go in there and say, oh, here's our company, this is how this works, what do you think? It's not what we do. It's your time. You're gonna be away from your family. You might as well, you're looking to make a sale and help a family in the meantime also. And then number 10 is, it says, would you rather put your money in the bank or put your money where the bank puts their money? Yeah, I just told them the bank pays you 0 point nothing, but the bank uses insurance in the billions. The banks, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Wells Fargo, 18.7 billion, Matt?
What was that, I'm sorry?
Wells Fargo, how much insurance do they have money in? They have insurance. They're tier 1 capital. They have most of it in insurance.
Yeah, it's, last time I checked, it was around 22,
Okay.
or 22 billion.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So these are questions you want to ask. Some, take the ones you feel comfortable with. But beside these questions, if you're not a trainer, you got to become a trainer. Set a timeline on that, guys. If you got hired by a company today and they said, hey, Bryce, starting salary is $60,000 a year. Which is not a lot, but let's say 60,000. But you gotta get licensed, you gotta get your license, you gotta pay for your licensing, and you gotta get yourself trained so you can start seeing clients. Then we're gonna start paying you $5,000 a month. Would you do it? It's guaranteed. Get your license, pay for your license, the small investment, $300 when it's all said and done, it's a write-off too. Get your training that you're required, because I cannot send you out to sit down with clients if you're not trained. And then I'm gonna start paying you $60,000. You may not make that the first month, second, third, but I guarantee you eventually get to that point, or even more. Because we don't have that glass ceiling here, so you can go out and make a lot more. And you can do 60,000 part-time, as we did. Part-time. See, a lot of it's here. So we gotta, our limiting belief, our thoughts, whatever's holding us back, we just gotta start thinking differently. It's gotta be a different thought process. We're all processed to get the job, to punch in, to have the guaranteed paycheck coming in. Well, little do you know, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they may let you go because the company shut down. And it's happened to a lot of people we know. And it continues to happen. Well, your pay raise, never get a pay raise. 25 cents an hour, 50 cents an hour. Sure, get a pay raise here, go write another app. Go recruit another teammate, train them, override them a little bit. You have the right to do so. So, was this helpful?
Yes.
I mean, what was I gonna say? I want everybody to succeed here, guys. You're here for a reason. You didn't you didn't sign up, you didn't get your name to get licensed, not to do anything. Bottom line, you signed up for a reason to do something in this company, and that's gonna help you or your family or somebody else for the better. Because money does help, would you agree?
Yes.
It's not about buying nice things, it's about, helping other people, helping your own family, creating memories, doing the things you need to be doing in your life. Because life is gonna go by us and you look back and say, hey, what did I do all my life, So it's important that you do the best you can do. And this company is unlimited in what you can do here. There's no glass ceiling on how much you can make, how big your team can be, how many clients you see, whatever it is. Any questions?
No question.
No questions? So let's make an effort that, we're out field training. We're becoming field trainers. So when you hire a new person on your team, you're the person taking that person out to the field, and you have a whole list of people to go train with. And don't say, oh, they're making money on my family. No. The whole exchange principle, you'll learn it. It's really, really good. I won't even get there. It's a whole different topic. You're gonna give up 10 appointments to have hundreds and thousands later. I gave up 10 appointments from my market to Nick, and in return, he probably gave me over 100 plus appointments as matchups when I was in his base shop.
Yep.
Free appointments, and then the ones that we had within our team at the time. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, time's up. It's late. What are you doing? All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.